After 2 years of waiting, Nintendo finally gave us another peek at the sequel to Breath of the Wild. You saw it with your own eyes, and I'm sure you were left speechless, so I doubt I need to further explain it. What I will explain and analyze is if the locations we saw in the sequel trailer are indeed the same locations we previously saw in Breath of the Wild. We are also going to cover just how this tree right here, yes, you heard that right, this itty bitty little tree, how this tree could mean a big change for Hyrule. Let's jump right in. The first recognizable scene from the sequel trailer that we see is this one right here. Right off the back, we see Death Mountain, the Kala Citadel, the cool looking mountain peaks at the Zora's Domain, and to finish off, the Dueling Peaks. Yes, it's right there at the corner. If you blink, you miss it. This dirt road off the side will also help us out in figuring out where this takes place in Breath of the Wild. Now, after spending some time trying to pinpoint the exact location, this is more or less exactly where Link is seen gliding in. We have Death Mountain, the Akala Citadel, the cool mountain peaks at Zora's Domain, and last but not least, the Dueling Peaks. Oh, and there's that dirt road. Look guys, I'm playing the sequel to the Breath of the Wild. Or am I? Let's check out the differences. First off, and what was the biggest visual difference that kind of threw me off, is Death Mountain. It doesn't have the lava flowing down anymore. I was literally looking at it for 2 minutes thinking it was a new mountain region, but no, just Death Mountain without its signature lava. Next we have this structure which coincidentally is also found in Breath of the Wild. The only difference being that Breath of the Wild you can clearly see Hyrule Castle in the background. But to be fair, in the sequel it's probably floating high in the air. Now remember that tree? Well, we'll get to that in a bit, I promise. Next we move on to this scene where we see the Tundra Plateau in the background. Take a look at these 3 landmarks right here. The second one is clearly a plateau. Now let's look at the map in Breath of the Wild. We also see these 3 landmarks with the second one being a plateau as well. And they're arranged almost identically. Right next to it, we also have this canyon that is also seen in the sequel trailer. The Gerudo Highlands do look farther away in my opinion, but there has been major topographical changes made to the land, so I'll give it a pass. However, there is still something that doesn't quite sit right with me, and it will all be explained with, you guessed it, the tree. Let's move on to the final scene though, where we see Hyrule Castle being lifted off into the sky. For the most part, everything is the same, well, with the exception of the guardian producing pillars, but well, it was expected for them not to make an appearance. There's also this Bokoblin stone skull camp that doesn't appear in Breath of the Wild, which confirms that they will be making a comeback. But honestly, everything seems to be quite the same. It's a beautiful scene of Hyrule with the sun setting at just the right moment. And this is where it all started hitting me. As I focused on how great the sun looked, for some odd reason, I had an itch to visit the past scenes we had just covered. And it was with that tree, yes, that itty bitty tree, yes, we are finally here. It was with that tree that I realized that this was a game changer. Have you guys figured it out yet? If you haven't, let's take a closer look. So although this may not be the same exact spot straight to the coordinates, we can safely say that we are in the same area. Like we said earlier, Death Mountain, Akala Citadel, peaks of Zora's Domain, and the Dueling Peaks behind us. Oh, and let's not forget the dirt road. Now all we gotta do is line ourselves facing Death Mountain as a point of reference. Now pay very close attention to the shadows. Did you guys see it? At no point do the shadows of the trees in the sequel trailer ever line up with the shadows that are casted in Breath of the Wild. In fact, they are facing the exact opposite direction. So in Breath of the Wild, the sun rises and sets north of Hyrule, which causes shadows to face southward. In the gameplay scenes of the sequel trailer, shadows are casted facing northward, meaning the sun shines in the south. If we look at the scene of the Tundra Plateau, this is further confirmed as the mushroom stone pillar tower thingies have shadows that are casted facing northward. But then it gets weird with the final scene. The shadows casted when Hyrule Castle is being lifted up are facing southward, which is the same as Breath of the Wild. This does seem to be a cutscene at the beginning of the game, so something big could have happened after this that caused this huge shift. So what does this mean for the sequel to Breath of the Wild and the Hyrule we once knew? You know, I'm not too sure. At this point it can mean plenty of things. One could be that Hyrule massively shifted its topography and now north is south and south is north. Or it could be the case that Hyrule is sent to another dimension of some sort where things just quite aren't the same. Or this could simply be an error that was overlooked by the developers. Or maybe you have the final answer to this analysis/theory of mine and would like to share in the comments. I really wanted to share this idea I had with you guys and wanted to get out as fast as I can, so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. My mind is spinning into a million directions with this info, with half those directions just being, what does this entail? What does this mean? What do these shadows mean? I'm going to do more research on this, but if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like. If you want to keep up with more of my content, which, by the way, there's more to come, wink wink, then you're going to want to subscribe. And finally, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel and the community. You guys are awesome. I'm glad to be back analyzing, I'm glad to be back theorizing, and I'm glad to be back making videos again. I'm Ace Monkey, have a great day, and thanks for watching.